Hello, and thanks for having me again. Some of you know that Helen and I are looking after the Priory Episcopal Church in South Queensferry, where we've been following the resurrection story in John 20 and 21. We've called it Seeing is Believing. We can't see, but these people who first met Jesus after he was raised, they did. And because they saw and told and wrote, we can trust and believe 21 centuries later. First comes Mary. As old Bishop Andrews put it, she was last at the cross and first at the tomb. Of course, we know from John 20 she got a big shock and she ran off to tell Peter and John. There's a lot of running in John 20. More running than the rest of the gospel put together. Peter and John came, they saw, they believed. Not quite sure what they believed at that point. As we're told in the next verse, they still didn't understand what Jesus had said about being raised from the dead. And off they went again. And she stayed. And she was rewarded by meeting Jesus. Mind you, she nearly didn't. Having endured the long Saturday between Jesus' crucifixion and preparing his body for proper burial, when she missed his body, she was fixed on the idea that they'd taken his body away. Some nameless people had done so. Her grief seems to have blinded her, as she then has the same conversation with even the angels. And even when Jesus did appear, she thought he was the gardener. Of course, it took just one word from him to cut through it. Her name, Mary. Wouldn't you just love to have been there to hear how he said it? Such warmth, such compassion, such love. You can understand why she wanted to grab him and hold on, but he says, no, it's going to be different now. I want you to go to my brothers and tell them. And off she goes, announcing to her astonished friends, I've seen the Lord, and telling them what he'd said. I hope you see what this means. No one expected this. Everyone's a beginner at this stage of the story. Resurrection was a quiet, personal encounter with no publicity, no spectators, not at all how we would do it. And Jesus chooses his first messenger, his first apostle, to tell the news. Mary, a woman whose word wouldn't count in a court of law. One woman when at least two were needed for a valid testimony. Jesus trusted her to do what he asked, to tell what she'd seen. And thanks be to God, that's exactly what she did. Here's the thing. He asks us and trusts us to do the same. May he give you strength as you live and tell and pass on this incredible story.